Hello, so this is NetLogo. We're going to be starting through the tutorials that are actually given on the website where you get NetLogo from. And it actually suggests that we look at the party model first, and then we go into tutorial 1. So we're going to do that. So this activity gets you thinking about computer modeling and how you can use it. It also gives you insight into NetLogo itself. We encourage you being used to start here, therefore we'll start here. So have you been at a party and noticed how people cluster in groups? Yes. Have you maybe also noticed that people don't just stay in a group? As they circulate, the groups change. If you watch these changes over time, you might notice patterns. So for example, in social settings, people may exhibit different behaviour than at work or home. Individuals who are confident within their work environment may become shy and timid at a social gathering, and others who are reserved at work may be the party starter with friends. So these patterns can depend on the type of gathering. In some settings, people are trained to organise themselves into mixed groups, for example, party games or school-like activities. But in a non-structured atmosphere, people tend to group in a more random manner. I know that when I did sales, for instance, we would have a thing at the beginning of the day where we would say, put yourself into groups of 3, and everyone would run into groups of 3, put yourself into groups of 5, everyone would run into groups of 5, and so it would continue in that sort of organisation. And so it would be very structured, but in real society things don't work quite the same as that. And yeah, so this is basically, so a lot of people I know, this is like a first or second year university thing. I know that's what I did when I was at university, so yeah, so it may be a bit like that. So yeah, a lot of people may do this. So I remember I'm not actually a teacher, so don't make sure you understand that I'm not a teacher. Anyone who's watching, I'm literally just doing this for my own real benefit because I like this program and I think it's fun. And yeah, this is very much just it's social sciences really. It's social science, artificial intelligence, all the good stuff. There's all the basic, most fun stuff of computer programming, in my opinion. Okay, and keep in mind I'm also useless at programming, so hopefully maybe I become better, get a bit of a pattern recognition on the go. So yeah, so let's take a closer look at this question by using the computer to model human behaviour at a party. NetLogo's party model looks specifically at the question of grouping by gender at parties. Why do groups tend to form that mostly men or mostly women? You have to use NetLogo to explore this question. So, okay, so we've got a little section here. Basically, we're going to open it up, and here it is. So you can see I've actually, it may not, the number here, when I actually opened it originally, it wasn't actually at 150, but say we've got 150 people here. What we'll do is we'll set it up, and then we'll press this go, and then we can do go once, and then we can see, we can go through, we can go basically through each tick here. And as you can see, the number of people that are getting happy here is increasing. Well, this didn't actually happen last time I did it. Well, actually, no, maybe it did. It took less ticks though. They're all happy. Okay, they're all happy now. Wow, 63, eh? That is an extreme result we've got on this time. You see, well, let's see what we get another time. Well, they're not happy, this lot. They are not happy. Really? This tree ended in 13 ticks before. Alright, it's almost done now. So basically, the simulation ends when you get to 150 happy. There we go, it's finished. So a few outliers. I'm probably one of these dudes. And then we've got basically, yeah. So you can see what happens. All the men and all the women, basically, everyone just gets into single sex groups after getting in, after being in mixed groups at the beginning, right? So that's that. All right. So you can see that, yeah. And so yeah, so this is basically what I've just been talking about. We'll just not do that. Okay. So I'm going to talk about part 1 in a minute as well. So, yeah, where were we anyway? Alright, so do all the groups have the same number of people? No. Do all the groups have about the same number of each sex? No. And that's what I just set it up for inviting 150 people, and then suppose 10 groups form at the party. So, yeah, so you can see that those numbers are going to correlate to number and num groups here. And, yeah. So, instead of asking, you choose, and so, yeah. So I did that stuff. I will talk about some of the settings menu and stuff like that in a minute, but that's actually part of the actual tutorial 1. This is not tutorial 1 yet, so I won't talk about it yet. So originally you may have thought would result in about 15 people in each group. From the model, you see that it didn't at all. So you can see, in fact, and I actually got some very good results in that little experiment there. Got some real extreme groups where you can have people just ones, and then there's going to be small groups, and it's going to take and it's going to set a different number of ticks, didn't it? Some are much quicker, some much slower. I mean, they are. I mean, even from that small test, you can see that was what's going on. Yeah, and they all, but the party changed from time over all mixed groups to all single-sex groups. So lots of possible questions to this happens about what happens at real parties. So the design simulation thought that groups of parties don't just form randomly. The groups are determined by how the individuals at the party behave. So the designer chose to focus on a particular variable called tolerance. So tolerance is defined here as a percentage of the people of the opposite sex an individual is comfortable with. If the individual is in a group there's a higher percentage of people of the opposite sex and their tolerance allows, they become uncomfortable and leave the group to find another group. So if the tolerance level is set 25%, the males are only comfortable in groups that are less than 25% female, and the females are only comfortable in groups that are less than 25% male. So as individuals become uncomfortable and leave groups, they move into new groups, which may cause some people in that group to become uncomfortable in turn. So this chain reaction is going to continue until everyone at the party is comfortable in their group. So that's the end point. So the beginning point is just a mixed group, random mixed group, end point, all single-sex groups. Okay, so in the model, tolerance is not fixed, so the user can use the tolerance slider to try different tolerance percentages and see what the outcome is when you start the model over again. So, yeah. Alright, so I didn't actually do it quite like that. The problem is when I press go, it does this a bit. So you can't really see what's going on, so that's why I did it in a step sort of way. I mean, I think you can probably see it right. I mean, at the end, yeah, you can see it. But yeah, you can press but you press go and then you press so it goes. So you can see I stopped it. Basically, if you press go, it's this go button with the little arrows at the bottom right of that is basically start and stop. And go once is just to increment the tick once. Yeah. So all right then. Alright then, so it makes sense then to try, I guess we'll try 100%, but we can't try 100%, oh that sucks. So, let's try 99%, let's see what happens. So we'll set it up. Not even working. Really? No, I think I did something wrong there. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't even seem to bloody work if I do it. It seems to work about 50%. What I think happens though is that if you set it up too high or too low, it may be the default values are not actually within the range of even working. It seems that it must be false. So what does it actually say? They're not males are only comfortable in groups that are less than 20% female. So if I set it at 99. Males will only be comfortable in groups that are less than 99% female. They can't be because there's not enough people for it to be that. Yeah, that's quite a difficult question. I'm only really beginning that, so I don't really know. Basically, though, if you can't set it at low values, well, you can't set it quite low. You can't set it as 0% though. Oh, you can. Let me just see what happens if we put this really fast and we turn updates off. So none of them are happy. Well, how could they be? They're only happy in groups that are less than 0%. They're only happy in groups that are 0% met. So it must be the other people they're with. Oh, interesting. Let's put it about 5%. any of them are going to get happy at 5%. I think one of them, yeah, there was a point where someone got happy for a brief second. Let's try this again. We'll try it back at 99. Let's try it about 80. I think for extreme cases it doesn't work because they can't really find the group. They're not able to move. Oh no, they're just happy immediately. They're happy all the... Yeah, so basically they immediately, when it's 80%, they all get happy really fast. I'm trying to actually... Let me just put the view updates back on. So we'll put it about 70%. At 70% they got happy really in about 2 ticks. Took 4 ticks that time. At 80% they're immediately happy because it just happened to spawn in in complete happiness. See, yeah, look, see, I set it up and then immediately there's 148 happy. And the tolerance is 80%, so they're only happy in groups where it's less than 80% of the opposite sex, right? So there must be 2 people that are pissed off here. It must be this in this 11 column, this first 11 column. I should put... Because in that case there's 11 dudes there, so these 2 girls are pissed, so there's 11 dudes there. But then they obviously join another group and then they're fine. And this was why we couldn't get anything to work higher than this. Because at very high levels they're all happy. But you see, if you put it at 0%, none of them will ever be happy, because they're only happy when there's... Well, actually, there might be, if they get one with 0 in it. If they get one with no members of the opposite sex, they might actually be happy. Let me see this. Let me just try this for a few clicks here. I'll just try up to 200. I wonder how it's changing it there. That's strange though. You would think that these 9 guys here with no... They're only happy when there's no... You would think that would actually meet the criteria there. That these guys there would be... Yeah, look. So there's the first single-sex group has emerged there. That seems to be incorrect, but I mean it might not be, but it does seem to be, right? There's 0% tolerance of the opposite sex, so I don't know. I feel like all of those dudes should be happy then. Let me just go one more tick. Yeah, oh, they were. So that's another interesting thing, isn't it? Alright, so it doesn't... So it's actually reporting from the previous tick. Alright, so that's some interesting stuff, isn't it? And so you can see the effect of tolerance. There we go. So that's probably a little... That's a little look at that. Alright, so... okay. Hopefully I haven't just done this. So as the host of the party, you'd like to see both men and women mingling within the groups. So adjust the tolerance slider on the side of you to get all groups to mix as the end result. Alright, so Yeah, so the obvious answer there, I suppose, is 50%, isn't it? Because then let's just we'll turn updates off here. They got happiness. Let's try it at 35. Alright, so I'm just trying to look at the numbers and try to get a feel for we'll try 65. That looks pretty good. What about 55? Yeah, you're never gonna get perfectly perfect groups. This is the problem. There's no way to get perfect groups. I mean, there's that 7, which is a bit of an outlier. But everything else is above 12, isn't it? Yeah, same. So we want to get the least number of single-sex groups, don't we? Well, I don't know why it's saying it's just 2 single-sex groups there. I think you have to make sure this number is divisible as well. Alright, let's just put the updates back on then. Go back to 50%. We'll turn this. We'll put it on normal speed, but it doesn't actually matter if you just do it through one tick. So we want to get mixed groups, don't we? Let me just check then. Well, they got happy fast there. I don't get how you can even do that though, because that's the happiness state. Oh, well, this is what I didn't tell. Well, maybe I haven't looked at this properly then. If you're saying the more mixed groups emerge. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'm running it incorrectly. Huh. I'm trying to remember if I changed any of these things. I might have changed that actually. Maybe it just had its own custom one then. There's no way to close this, I wonder. You see, it defaults to that. Oh, so yeah, some of them are happy in mixed groups. Well, that's already done. They're all happy already. Really? So they're immediately happy there. There's 5 single 6 groups there. Let's try it like this 5 times. We'll just skip to the end. So there's 6 groups there. 3 groups there. So between about 3 and 6 there. Try it 20%. Alright. We're all happy with 8 groups. Alright, we'll try one more time. You need to actually put view updates on to even get it to work again. Alright, you need to just top it on now. Taking their time, aren't they? Alright, there's 7 groups in that one. Alright, so basically there's a lot more single 6 groups. I think that was what it was trying to say. There's a lot more single 6 groups if the tolerance for the members of the opposite sex is lower, which I suppose makes sense. So how hard is tolerance friendly? Yeah, were there any actually? See, the problem with doing it too fast is that it will fuck it up, I think. Will it? Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah, and it always ends with no mixed groups at all. And it's 70%. It just ends. There's literally 3 single 6 groups. And when you put it up to about 90, they're going to be happy almost. Let's just set this up a few times. Why is it never ever starting in a state if this is so random? Let me just look at this. It's not reloading it though, this is what I don't get. Why isn't that not reloading it? That's annoying. Because I haven't got the updates on. Why is it never loading with any single 6 groups? You'd think that would happen. Yeah, I don't know why that's not happening. So they're all happy. I don't know, this one is... It's weird that they can't even. There's just no. They're only happy when they're in single sex groups, even if the tolerance is at 50%. The 40% is the same. %30 is the same. It is about 10%, isn't it? Alright. Using NetLogo mode to model a situation like a pilot has to experiment with the system in a rapid and flexible way that would be difficult to do in the real world. Modelling also gives you the opportunity to observe a situational circumstance with less prejudice as you can examine the underlying dynamics of the situation. You may find as you model more and more of your preconceived ideas about various phenomena will be challenged. For example, surprising result of pilot models that even if tolerance is relatively high, a great deal of separation occurs. There's a classic emergent phenomenon where group pattern results in the interaction of many individuals. This idea of emergent phenomenon can be applied to almost any subject. To see more examples, again, different understanding. Look at the models library. Alright, so the next thing is the tutorial 1. Alright, let's go to that then. We're going into more depth about the features that are available when exploring models in the models library. So throughout all the tutorials, we'll be asked to make predictions about what the effects of making changes to the model will be. The effects is often surprising. The effects are surprising, aren't they? I actually almost want to watch back what I just recorded. But I'm not going to. I'm going to just move on to the next bit, and I suppose I can always watch this whole lot, can't I? I just want to move. I wanted to just basically move on to the Wolf Sheep Predation one. All right. All right. So basically, you can see we've got various different things here. So we've got the it's all about wolves and sheep, and then we've got, for instance, so we've got the buttons here. These blue kind, well, purpley buttons, basically just doing begin and end, and carry on, stop, start, stop, and like I said, halt is there as well. And we've got some sliders, we've got some toggleable buttons, and some graphs and stuff like that as well, and some head and some stuff which is returning some information about a number of things. So we can see if we go like this. You can see what happens. I might actually just get rid of the command center here. This looks a bit better. Alright, so there all the basically the sheep died pretty quickly there. I mean, sorry, the wolves all died. So this is dependent on basically the see the sheep. Either the sheep need to eat grass or they don't. You see, if the sheep do need to eat grass, then that will be factored in, and we have a little brown colour there to show grass that needs to be regrown, so it's just like a dirt block in Minecraft, something like that. In fact, it's actually very, this whole thing reminds me of Minecraft a lot. One of the recent changes in Minecraft was that the wolves attack sheep. So yeah, we can just fasten that up a bit. So basically, you can see this is basically set as default for everything to be in that kind of equilibrium. The grass will grow back, the sheep will grow back, and the breeding will happen. There's all sorts of interesting things going on there. And what I might do as well at the end is I might actually look through the these other sections of the because they're quite interesting. Alright, so the interface we fill lots of buttons, switches, and sliders, and monitors. These interface elements allow you to interact with the model. Buttons are blue, they set up, start and stop the model. Sliders and switches are green, they all settings. Monitors and plots are beige, they display data. I'd like to make the window larger so that everything is easy to see. You can use the zoom menu. When you first open the model, you notice that the view is all black. To begin the model, you need to set it up, yeah. So you have to press set up to do that. Press the go button to stop the model. So yeah. So a button can be a once button or forever button, so you can tell the difference between these two parts of the button by a symbol on the face of the button. Forever buttons have 2 arrows in the bottom right corners like this. Once buttons don't have the arrows like this. So yeah, so just do one action and stop. So like go to and stop an action script or something like that. When the action is finished, the button pops back up. Okay, so forever buttons do an action over and over again. When you want the action to stop, press the button again. Finish the current action and pop back up. Okay, so yeah, most models doing Wolf Sheep Predation have a once button called set and forever button called go. Many models also have a once button called go once or step once, we like go, so it advances the model by one tick. See a time step instead of over and over. Use a once button like this lets you watch the progress of the model more closely. So stopping the forever button is a normal way to pause or stop a model. After pausing, you can make it resume by pressing the button again. You can also stop a model with a halt item in the tools menu, but you should only do this if the model is stuck. So it may interrupt the model in the middle of an action. So yeah, so getting stuck in it it seems to be fairly common. Do you ever get different results if you run the model several times with the same settings? Alright, so we'll do that. So we'll just run it about 5 times here. Actually, I should turn the grass off. See, it's nice, there's the cycle, and it's interesting, the cycle becomes shorter, amplitude becomes bigger and stuff like that. Alright, so we turn the grass off now, let's do it properly. There we go, everything died. That's a nice one. All the wolves died? Nope, the wolves are back. All the sheep died. And then all the wolves died. Oh, wolves dead. Sheep. We live on. Sheep are living on forever. But yeah, if we go a bit slower though, we can actually look at what's going on here. So we can see we start off with a certain amount of sheep, so 100 sheep, 50 wolves. The sheep population is starting to grow. So what that will mean is that the wolves are going to have more food to eat. So you can see they're beginning to grow as well. So as the wolves eat all the sheep numbers go down. As the sheep's numbers go down, the wolves have got less food to eat, so the wolf numbers go down. You can see the sheep here are only at 3 sheep left. 4 sheep now with only 1 wolf. 5 sheep with 1 wolf. These are pretty cool. I don't normally watch it this late. And you see that wolf? That wolf was probably getting old, so the wolf just died before being able to kill any sheep. And now it becomes a sheep utopia. So yeah. Try it again. Again, we're going to see similar sort of things. The sheep numbers are growing. As the sheep numbers are growing, the wolves are able to eat more. As the wolves eat more, the sheep are less, so they die, and the wolves are able to eat. And then the sheep number, you can see sheep is getting very, very low. If this ever gets, it's all very at that bottom level. It's probably very dependent on what happens with the. And you see, there's this bit here, and a similar, very similar thing happened there. All right. Okay, so yeah, and you can see, yeah, and there's the stuff about, and you can see why I've been doing the view update stuff. I've been doing that the whole time really. So model settings let you explore different scenarios or hypotheses. All in settings and then running the model to see how it reacts and give you a deeper understanding of the phenomena being modelled. So switches and sliders give you access to a model settings. Here are the switches and sliders in Wolf Sheep Predation. So there we go. Let's experiment with their effect on the behaviour of the model. So open the Wolf Sheep Predation, it's not open already. So press setup and go and let the model run for about 100 ticks. So I've just done that, haven't I? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run it just with the slider on, with the grass on. So we're going to press go here. Let's have a look what happens. Alright, so we've got the grass now. It's coming down as the sheep are eating it. The sheep are eating, their numbers are growing. It's a bit less clear cut though. There's a little bit more equilibrium here. We've got about 3-to-1 ratio of sheep to wolves. It's looking about 2-to-1 now. Remember the sheep are eating the grass. Let's speed it up. Not really much going on. And you can see basic equilibrium is happening here. But that won't always happen. Or maybe it does. We'll just do like 1,000 ticks for each one. You see there's this point, right? There's this critical point, of course, when it gets to almost the point of being none. Well, obviously, if there's like a few decisions that happen at that point. But honestly, I haven't noticed that it's actually got to that point at all. Normally, you see the wolves getting very low, but they haven't really. No. So basically, this kind of seems like it's like a system in equilibrium, doesn't it? It seems it doesn't matter what you do. And that's an interesting thing, because otherwise it could just almost be random stuff that's going on. But the fact that you're doing all these different calculations at the same time, and everything, and all these three graphs remain in equilibrium, means that what is actually happening is actually making sense, in a sense. Well, not in a sense, that is what it means. It means even though that all these things are making random decisions about, whenever, if you look at the code, yeah, even though it's saying, it's doing like things like, sheep gaining, see there's this random stuff going on with throw dice. But yet the graph is staying the same. So what it means is that just because something is random, it doesn't mean that when you put in loads of different random things, as long as they're all weighted in the same way. It's like saying, okay, one weighted coin, where a coin, there's obviously a thing with a coin where the coin weighs a certain amount. It's always going to, this coin is always 90% chance going to land on this thing. That would not look that interesting. If you have loads of them, and then you say, well, we're not sure what the weight on this coin is going to be, and you just choose all the weights randomly, then you can get this very nice equilibrium. And it's nice to see all these graphs, all the lines matching up and going in the same way. And this is one of the important things to realise about stuff like this, is that really one of the reasons why this is fun is because there's lots of nice colours on the screen, and it's nice to look at. So it shouldn't be underestimated, the importance of that, because I think it is quite important. Alright, so yeah. I think I'm actually going to leave it there in that thought anyway, because there's actually quite a lot to talk about with the sliders, and